I'll make sure to tag Ghost Beat when we post it on social. So today's Friday, May 13th. No,
14th.
May 14th. Right. I was gonna say it's not a Friday the 13th this month. May 14th. Wow, this year is going by fast once again. I know you guys are probably getting tired of me saying it, but you know what? I'm going to continue to say it because I totally feel that way. This year's going by fast. So it's May 14th, 2021. So, welcome to episode. What episode is this, Wes?
6.
Episode 6. Yes, this is episode 6 of Real Talk with Coach Q and
Broker Wes.
Yes, y'all. It's Broker West, y'all. Yes, y'all. It's Broker West, y'all. Now, this is the first time you guys are tuning in. My name is Kieran McGlory, aka Coach Q, and I have the absolute pleasure of being able to coach real estate agents with growing their real estate business. And I'm also a realtor where I get to help my clients buy, sell, and invest in real estate. And I'm going to let Wes do his introduction to let all y'all people know what Broker West does.
Hey, y'all. This is Wesley Oliver, aka Broker Wes. I'm a mortgage broker that loves to help people understand their finances and their options and how to plug it all into their overall financial picture and make it work.
Yes, I love that. So definitely give it up. I'm feeling a little more energy today because, one of our clients just closed escrow today, in this crazy market. And the great part about it is that Wes and I were literally working with them for less than a month. We got them into escrow. They went up against multiple offers. We stayed within their budget. The house appraised, and guess what? They're VA buyers. Yes, VA buyers. Those types of buyers that people said, oh, they're probably going to have a hard time. You're probably not going to be able to find it for them. Well, when you work with Q and Wes, when you work with Coach Q and Broker Wes, we make it happen. So congratulations to our clients again for closing escrow on their home. It's an honor and privilege that we get to serve people. And if you guys are out there and you guys are looking for a great team to work with, definitely reach out to us and hit us up. So wanted to share that with you guys. Also, we always talk about, about success, right? And part of the things that we do, and part of the things I do as a coach is leadership, right? Help people develop themselves into leaders, right? And being a realtor and being an entrepreneur, self-employed, you are a leader, right? Whether you're a leader of your business, leader of your life, leader of your household, you are a leader. So today I'd like to talk about something that I learned from my mentor, John Maxwell. And he was talking about how we think of how success relates to failure, right? Now, being in the business for a certain amount of years, for several years, and being in the coaching and leadership role for several years, I get to see how failure affects people. You know what I mean? Like from just 1 ounce of failure to cause them have such a breakdown that they stop with their momentum. They stop, really progressing and moving forward, right? So what you need to have is, your mindset needs to be there. So when you're having success, you have success, you move forward. When you have failures, you adjust, you learn, and you continue to move forward, right? So your attitude doesn't need to change, right? So when it comes to success and with failure, understand that you still have to have that positive mindset, and the determination to move forward. So don't just rely on your successful moments in your life to help you move forward. also understand that when you come across failures, those are also learning examples and learning points where you can progress and move forward. So look at successes and failures with the same momentum to help you move forward. So I wanted to share that with you. And Wes, what do you think about when it comes to success and failures?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, you have to be able to look at the failure in the right way, have the right perspective, right? Um, when you when you're on top, it seems like you're never going to ever be on the bottom again, and when you're on the bottom, it seems like you'll never be on top again. But we know that's not true. Life is peaks and valleys. So as far as your failures are concerned, it should always be about what can I learn from them? What can I take away from this moment? And then also, if you have a process and you're putting in the work in, if you're putting in the work, you know, you don't have to get caught up on the failure. You just have to trust the process because you will fail. There's no doubt about that. And Tony Robbins, someone I love to listen to, one day he was talking about failure. He was talking about baseball players, and he was talking about the greatest baseball players we've ever seen. And if you have a 400 batting average, which would be like otherworldly, right? That would mean that you fail 60% of the time. 60% of the time. Even take someone like a Steph Curry, who's a great 3-point shooter. I believe he shoots somewhere around like 52%. That still means he's failing or missing the shot 48% of the time. It's almost half the time. But he trusts the process. He works on his jump shot, probably more than anybody who's ever worked on a jump shot. He trusts his jump shot, and he understands once you let it fly, what will be, will be. But the work is still there. You still do the work and understand that you're going to have a lot of success to go along with some of those failures. So just keep the right attitude.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. Yes. Now, I want to talk about something. Now, Wes and I have represented clients, that bought homes, they haven't really seen them, right? But we wanted to talk more about, the market of the moment, what we're seeing in this current market. So, buying sight unseen, right? Is it worth it in today's market? So I'm gonna let Wes open with that. So buying sight unseen, Wes, is it worth it in this market?
Yeah, and how I came across this, there was an article I came across that was posted to CBS.com, and I'll just read you the intro to the article. The pandemic era real estate market has emerged as a windfall for sellers and a headache for buyers. A shortage of for sale homes continues to boost prices across the nation by double digits and is pushing house hunters to go to extremes to win bids. Take a home near the Microsoft campus outside of Seattle that was listed for $725,000. The buyers made a bid without seeing the home, offering $400,000 above asking and waiving all contingencies, meaning no inspection, no mortgage financing contingencies were required. So think about that.
Wait, time out. Did you just say 400,000 above list price?
Yeah. Yeah.
400,000 above list price. That's
yeah. Yeah. So just to finish this last little tidbit here, increasingly offering above asking price isn't enough to win a bid in the ultra tight pandemic housing market. According to realtors and buyers, indeed, going above the asking price is simply the first step in winning an offer, with buyers increasingly offering additional enticements, including waiving inspections for hidden structural problems and providing free leasebacks to sellers or offers for sellers to remain in the home between 1 to 6 months after closing, free of rental charges. So it's obviously, it's a very competitive market out there, very tight. And when you're looking at, whether you're buying a home sight unseen or whether you've seen the home or not, you're being asked to stretch and to do a lot of things that normally you may not have to do in order to win that offer, right, to win that bid, right? So for me, I just think it's always important to exercise good judgment. I mean, the market is the market right now. And if you want to be in the market right now, this is just kind of the price of admission, right? but I still think you should always be smart about how you proceed and that you're weighing all of the risk and reward of that. So you still have to exercise good judgment as far as I'm concerned, as far as how you're selecting the home that you're going to buy.
Right.
So a couple things that I would say that you would want to focus on is, you know, looking at the property and the location of the property, right? So let's say hypothetically, I know everybody's worried about a crash. Let's say hypothetically that home prices do go down eventually. So if home prices do go down eventually, is the area you're buying in, is it historically a place where home values don't drop that much, or even if they do, property values come back a lot faster? So just to give you an example, if you bought, say, in the city of Orange, right? And I did this myself. I went through this myself. I bought my current townhome, 2008. I thought the market had bottomed out, but it didn't. So I bought the townhome. I lost another 40,000 in equity from that point, and just within like 5 years, I already had positive equity after that. So that worked out well for me because where I was. But certain areas of the country, or certain areas specifically of the county or the region, are not going to bounce back quite as quickly.
Well,
So you have to
let's
look
give
at
it up
that.
real quick for always looking for positive equity, and that happens a lot more often than you guys think.
Yeah. So depending on that, and then also look at the overall benefits of the area. If you ever have to rent that place out, is it a place that's going to be quite frankly easy to rent? And are you going to be able to yield a maximum price for that? So are you near, grocery stores? Are you near shopping? Are you near the freeway? Are you near schools? Things like that. So you can still participate in this market, and you can still jump through the hoops that they're going to ask you to jump through, but you just need to be wiser in your decision on where you're choosing to buy and what you're choosing to buy.
Yeah, definitely got to be wiser. That's definitely a great point. I mean, 400,000 over, like that's massive right there. And again, this is silent things. This person has not seen the house, right? So that's interesting. I mean, so when I think about this, and I think about what's going on with the market, I mean, it definitely, you have to be in a certain position, to be willing to do that, right? I mean, the fact of the person buying a house sight unseen, they're already in a different position than most people, right? Most people couldn't fathom ever spending that kind of money on something they've
Right.
never seen in person, right? But you take it up another notch when you're going above list price, and I'm not talking about $1,000, $5,000, dang near almost half a million. Again, without seeing it. So I mean, obviously, I don't think this. I mean, us being in the industry, we don't see this all the time. Like this isn't like a normal occurrence
Of
where
course.
people are spending this type of money, but this market has given an opportunity for people that are in a certain demographic that are able to do things like this, buy home sight unseen, and be able to pay such a large amount over this price. So for me, I think it really comes down to who you are, what position you are in, right? Obviously, this
Mhm.
is not going to be a standard practice that me and Wes, would ever advise people to do. But again, it really depends on the person's circumstance. It really depends on the person's situation. If they're in the position and they want to do this again, we're not going to advise people on doing this as opposed to as some type of strategy to get your offers accepted. No, this is more based off of what you voluntarily want to do. We as representatives always work in a fiduciary manner. So we're always going to, always give our advice and opinion of what you should and shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, it is the client that makes the decision of what they want to offer. So with this type of situation here, like I said, it really is based off of the individual, what they can and cannot do. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, I'll just say this. Maybe this is a moment for you to take the time to think, do I want to bid on this house that's in like the perfect area, everything I've ever wanted, and another 1,000 people are going to also bid on that house. So maybe, expand your search criteria, maybe go out another, 5 miles or something like that to be in an area where it's not going to be as competitive and you're not going to be asked to do, some of these things that you're probably not going to be comfortable with doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man. So yeah, definitely. To that. Now, move on to hot topics. Hot topics. So, buying a home, happily ever after, right? Owning a home, when the fairy tale ends.
Right.
Yes. Now I'm gonna let Wes break that down, what that actually means. So,
Yeah.
buying a home, fairy tale ending, happily ever after. Owning a home, where the fairy tale ends. So,
Yeah. And let me just tell you where I came up with that, that concept, because someone was talking about, um, the reason that fairy tales always end with a happy ending is because where they choose to stop the story, where the story ends. So, like our buyers today, at some point, they're going to meet up with you and they're going to get the keys to the home and they're going to go to the home, walk in, take a look around. So they're going to walk in, take a look around, inhale, exhale, and say, it's ours. We did it. Now, if we ended the movie right there, that'd be great. But here's the thing, though. I'm really going through it, for this year so far, because I'm having to, make improvements to the house and deal with things that over time just break down on the house and things like that. And those things just never go away as long as you're a homeowner. So just understand, and it's a great thing to own a home, right? Because I'd rather have things breaking down around me on property that I own than having things breaking down around me on property someone else owns. Because you don't get free of this renting either. Right? You got to call the super and call the property manager and hey, this is broken, this is on the fritz. So that never goes away. But I say that to say this, just so that people understand that when you're a homeowner, not a home buyer, but a homeowner, this is part of the responsibility of having a home and owning a home. So prepare yourself for that. A couple things that I do. I always make sure I have my home warranty. So I always pay for home warranty. I keep home warranty. That's a great thing to have because if anything breaks down that's covered under the warranty, usually you're going to have to pay some fee like $75 for them to come out and they repair things. So like when my hot water heater went out a couple years ago, it cost me $75. That was it. Got a brand new hot water heater. Also, the maintenance of the home. Make sure you're maintaining it and doing the things around the home to maintain it. So, like if you have hardwood floors or laminate floors, make sure you understand how to take care of those things and how to best maintain them and help you mitigate the wear and tear that comes with that. Also, they advise you that you're supposed to set aside 1% of the home's value every year to be able to make those upgrades and to be able to deal with repairs.
and
So
everyone
make sure
does
you,
that, right, Wes? Everyone does that, right?
of course, of course. So I would say make sure that you actually have a savings set up for those things so that when they do hit you and it's something that's not covered by the warranty, something you have to replace or whatever, that it's not going to break you financially. So understand, I'm saying that to say this because many people get into the home and they think, okay, cool, we got the home now. We just need to be able to pay for the mortgage. And now we can start spending like madmen and women and not save anything. Exactly.
Yeah, spinning, spinning. Who likes to spin? We all like to spin. Yeah. Cheer it, cheer it on. There it is. Gotta make sure to say that one.
Yeah. So, just understand that that's part of it as well. It's not just buying the home, It's owning the home. And that's why I always ask people when they come to me for a pre-approval, are you ready for the responsibility of home ownership?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely one of the three questions I ask them. So that's really good. I guess you kind of could relate to marriage if you wanted to, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
There's like a
Absolutely.
honeymoon stage, right? You
Yeah.
get married, like everything's brand new and everything, and then then reality comes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Shout out to my wife. I love her. I love her very much. So yes, yes, yes. So economic update, new home construction. So, so new home construction. So I have it up here. New home construction is up 30%.
Yeah. So, well, applications. So,
Applications are up 30%.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, new home applications, basically those are people who are applying for mortgages. Now, a little over 30% of those are for people buying new homes. So, obviously, we know that the market's kind of tight right now because, you only have so many people looking to sell a home at any point in time, right?
Absolutely. And typically, Wes, what is normal? What's like a normal rate for applications for new home construction?
For new home construction, for new applicants,
Mm-hmm.
probably somewhere down to like 20, 18%, something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
So
it's
it's a
a
little
it's a
different. It's a little higher then.
yeah, it's a significant increase, and because usually most people are not going to go the new construction route, even though we all love that new car smell, right? There are
Yeah.
some things that come along with the new construction that some people may not want to deal with.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like the Belarus. Property taxes. It's not me. I didn't do it. Okay. And a lot of people don't like the HOA. People, man. Not new home construction fans, apparently. So.
Yeah, there is that, and some people just don't like waiting on the home.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and some people do like older homes that have character and all that. So yeah, so to have that, that many people now going toward new construction, but it doesn't surprise me because, like I said, we know there's not the normal number of homes available in the market,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows, this may be the new reality because everyone just refinanced into historically low rates, and so that person might think, you know what, if I have to buy something else, I'm going to have to pay more to get it now, and my interest rate is going to be higher, so my payment's going to be higher now. You know, so some people just may choose to, more people may choose to stay in their home and not sell it, and then where are the people who want to buy a home going to turn? New construction is a seemingly easy, option for that. Although even that's getting, competitive. They're having the bidding wars on the new construction, or they have lotteries, right?
They've had lotteries for a while, but the whole bidding wars is actually like something that we don't normally see, right? Because it's usually we have a lottery. Hello, you're the one that gets a shot at the property. Either you accept it or you pass it on and someone else gets it. Now, even those are getting bid, which is something new that we normally don't see in new home construction.
Right. Yeah. So it's competitive no matter where you go at this point.
Most definitely. And you brought up a good point about the refinancing, right? Because a lot of people are imagining that we're going to see this huge wave of foreclosures and short sales coming out of the gate. But you got to think about it though. If all these people are qualified and have refinance, guess what they've done? What have they done, Wes?
They've lowered their payment.
Exactly. They lowered their payments. So maybe at one point they weren't able to pay, but they lowered their payments down. So now all of a sudden you have all these people that have lowered payments, so now they can make their payments. So again, it kind of goes against the argument of where these people think that these waves of foreclosures or short sales are going to come. And
Mhm.
especially in my industry, it seems like every dang week, Wes, I'm getting a freaking email from the National Association of Realtors telling me about an upcoming certification training in foreclosures and short sales. It's like, and distressed properties, right? It's like, oh my gosh, man. But I mean, I know agents, like I see them post on social media, like, ooh, I just became a certified foreclosure short sale distressed property specialist or whatever. And it's like, like, I mean, for me, like for us, period. I mean, we keep our ears to the streets. Like we know exactly what's going on, and based on what's occurring with the refinancing, with the mortgage forbearance, things of that nature, it just doesn't seem as though we're just going to see this huge wave of foreclosures coming out of the gate. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see it. Maybe there'll be a few of them, yes, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna be like you go down your street and you see like 5 or 6 or 7 signs up. You know what I mean? I don't think we're going to get to that point.
Yeah, well, certainly not in our market, because it may be that way in certain parts of the country that are more affordable, which means that you could have people that the people that were impacted the most
Hmm.
by the the pandemic
Right.
as far as employment. So people who are in the service industries, if you get to more affordable areas, more of those people can afford to own homes,
Right.
and those are the people that were impacted a lot by the shutdowns and whatnot.
Exactly.
um, Retail, the service industry, restaurants, things like that. So in our area, I don't really see it happening to that degree for two reasons. Number one, as we discussed, it's more affordable for people because they probably refinanced and all that. Number two, if I can't afford my mortgage payment and I have tons of equity in my home.
The E word, yes, the E word, right? Because we've seen an average of over 7% from 2020 to 2021 of equity increase. So you
Right.
got people whose equity has increased, plus you got people that are refinancing.
Hmm.
So this is another element, another factor of why I don't see this wave of foreclosures or short sales coming anytime soon.
Yeah, because if you have equity, you get to sell the home.
Right, it's a
Foreclosures
standard
and
sell.
short, yeah, foreclosures and short sales happen when you don't have equity.
Right.
There's no way to get out of it. But if you have plenty of equity, you just sell the home and walk away.
Mhm.
you know and then a lot of the people who have these homes now are no longer on, I would say, risque mortgage products, because they
Right.
don't really exist to that degree anymore. So you were qualified for that loan based on all of your finances, and those guidelines are stricter than they were 12, 15 years ago. So they really made sure that you could afford the home. No, hey, here's what I make on paper, wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? That stuff doesn't happen to that degree anymore. So, and the people who do get to still do
You
like
say
stated
wink,
income,
wink,
what's that?
wink, 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 wink.
Wink, wink.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
You got stuck
that
for a
just looked
second.
creepy. That looked like Mike Tyson punched you in the eye or something.
Man, shoot. Man, I think that eye be
Yeah.
on.
So yeah, you have there's going to be many ways for people to deal with the situation this time around, unlike 2008. So yeah, you can hang out waiting on that short sale foreclosure, and maybe you might find it, but it's probably not going to be, anywhere close to where you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that those people that got those certifications for certified foreclosure, short sale, and distressed properties, I hope you get to put them to use. All
Yeah.
right? Because please, like I don't want the same situation to happen with all of us that got college degrees and we're not in our fields. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I hope you guys put your designations in use. You know what I mean? Like one of the designations I have is a certified negotiation expert. And I use that. I use that on a regular basis because I am negotiating, whether I'm negotiating with my clients in terms of coaching or my clients in terms of real estate or negotiating with my wife, right? Because shoot, I mean, having that certified negotiating expert is definitely helping when it comes to negotiating with my wife. So shout out to
Right.
my wife. I love her so much. Yes. Perfect. Now we're moving on to the city spotlight. Now, the city spotlight this week is the city of Orange. Now, since Wes is a long-term resident of Orange, I'm definitely gonna let him take the lead on this. So Wes, give us some info about the city of Orange.
Yeah, absolutely. So, love living here. I've lived here for 13 years now. Absolutely love it. And I live not far from the plaza, but a lot to do here. So I can tell you this: the median household income is about $86,000. Um, some of the things to do around here. So for the holidays, we have a tree lighting ceremony. We have treats in the streets
Treats.
for Halloween.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna see.
treats
I'm
in the
gonna see if
street.
you're gonna name one of my favorite things in Orange. I'm gonna see if you're name it. So let's see.
Oh, we'll probably get there. We also have our July 3rd celebration. That's when, we do fireworks the day before 4th of July. We also have the International Street Fair.
There it is. As well as with my family, like we love the International Fair in Orange. And if you guys have not checked it out, definitely go check out the International Fair, Street Fair in Orange. The food is amazing. You get to taste all different types of food from all around the world. So shout out to the International Street Fair of Orange. So I can't wait for that. That's gonna be October this year, right? It's October, I think. It's in October. So
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm hoping they do it this year. They should, hopefully, because we're supposed to be going back to normal by like June 15th. So I'm hoping that it comes back because that's definitely something I look forward to. I usually
Yeah,
gain
and
about 5 or 10 pounds during that weekend just because of the International Street Fair.
yeah, and I didn't realize this. I've been a member of the Chamber of Commerce for like 10 years now. So I never knew it before, but a lot of the vendors at the street fair that are selling that food, those are all a lot of them for like important causes. They're raising money for important things or organizations or whatnot. So it's a good thing to, go support people who support the community. So we have that. We have, as far as the schools are concerned, we have like 27 elementary schools,
Wow, that's a lot.
5 junior high schools,
Yeah.
3 colleges. So we've got Chapman University. That's a big one everybody knows. Santiago Canyon College. So if you're not quite ready for the 4-year experience, you can start out there. Interesting fact, I didn't know this. And I learned this again being part of the Orange Chamber of Commerce. We had someone from Santiago Canyon come speak with us. There's like, so number one, it's very competitive to get into UC now. I think I think their acceptance rate for like freshmen is something stupid like 10% or something like that.
Wow.
So that means like if 100,000 of you or 10,000 of you, apply, only 1,000 of you getting in. So I didn't know this. If you go to Santiago Canyon and you graduate with honors, there's like 5 UCs that you're guaranteed admission into when you go to transfer.
So when you start at Santiago Canyon, that's junior college, right?
Yep.
So you're saying 2 years, right? When you get your associates, is that what you're saying when you graduate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So if you graduate as a honor student, you're guaranteed acceptance into like 5 of the UCs. I know one of them UCI. I believe one of them might be Santa Cruz. I forget which other ones, but yeah, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that. I think UCR might be one of them as well.
You said guaranteed?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I like that. Let's give it up for guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then obviously there's tons of stuff. We have the block at Orange. So if you want to shop, or I believe, I'm sorry, I'm old. You can tell how old I am.
Yes, you
it's
can.
the outlets at
of
Orange now.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we have the Village, which used to be called the Mall of Orange. So we have the Village where you can always do shopping. We have the Stadium Promenade. That's where one of the big movie theaters is, and a lot of restaurants and shops over there as well. We have art museums, tons of parks. Irvine Park is one of my favorite places to go. We usually take our kids there for Halloween. They set up the pumpkin patch there. They have the train there that you can get on and ride. So Irvine Park's a great place to go. Like I said, tons of parks, tons of things to do here. Yeah, it's a great place to live.
Yeah, so get up for West.
Oh, let me tell you one local fact though.
Oh,
So you know where the street fair happens, right?
yes.
Okay. What is that location called?
Circle of Orange. The Orange Circle.
See, the locals hate that. They call it the plaza.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I call it the Circle of Orange.
Yeah, the plaza.
The
The locals
plaza.
call it the plaza. They don't like it the
Oh,
circle. And interesting fact, a few movies that I know that were filmed there, Big Mama's House.
oh yes, yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, that thing you do.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's definitely one of my
Yeah,
favorite
that
movies.
was also filmed there. And I forgot to mention this. They have a really cool trolley tour that you can take, and they'll take you around all through Old Town Orange, and you get all this historical information. And also, a lot of the restaurants that are located in the plaza, they'll give you like samples of food and stuff like that. You stop at different places. They provide samples so you can sample a lot of the great food that they offer in the plaza. So that's something really cool to do as well.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. Well, thank you for giving us the Orange. And if you guys are interested in learning more about the City of Orange, possibly buying, selling the City of Orange, definitely reach out to us. We definitely help you. Also, I want to share something about Orange. So, in terms of the real estate market in Orange, we're seeing average days on market about 18 days, meaning that when a home comes on the market, about 18 days it takes for it to actually get an escrow. And the average sales price in Orange is 1.1 million. Yes, 1.1 $1 billion. Right? Shout out to Austin Powers, definitely one of my favorite trilogy movies of all time. Mike Myers, amazing, right? But anyway, like I said, City of Orange is 1.1 million. If we go back to even the end of 2020, it was below 900,000. So we made
Mhm.
such a huge jump from December of last year up to now. So wanted to give you that great information. So once again, for the City of Orange, and it's named after fruit, orange, and a color as well. Isn't that funny? Like orange is a color, and then grape
Mhm.
flavor, and it's also fruit, and grape is also not a color. Grape is, yeah, it's interesting. We can go and talk about that fruit conspiracy for a long time, but we're gonna move on to another conspiracy. One of my favorite parts of our show, which is the West Files.
Okay, so the theme of our West Files today is that approvals, conditional approvals, or pre approvals are not permanent. And one of the experiences I had a client that we went through the pre approval process, and they ended up moving. They ended up moving because they knew they were going to move. Their lease was up, and they knew they were going to buy. So they ended up moving out of their current place. And what happened was the mail was supposed to be getting forwarded, but one of the credit cards slipped through the mail. So my buyer didn't receive. Yeah, so my buyer didn't receive their credit card statement for that month, and they just slipped their mind because they were moving and they didn't pay the bill. So next thing you know, they had a 30-day late on their credit card. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you have a late payment on a credit card, it does the most damage when you're closest to the point of impact. So if you have a late payment this month, next month is going to be the biggest impact. 6 months from now won't impact you as much, though it will still be having an impact, or a year from now. But it tanked their credit score by like 70 points.
Wow. Jeez. I mean, just depending on where they were at. I mean, that could put you
Right.
from like qualifying to not qualifying. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Or
Yeah.
qualifying for a great rate to qualifying for an okay rate.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So there's that as well. So what I always try to relate to, my clients is that your pre-approval, or once we're in escrow and we have a conditional approval, they're not permanent. Always remember that your approvals are based on a specific set of circumstances at a specific set of time, right? So if I pre-approve you today based on a 740-point credit score, having $50,000 in the bank, making $8,000 a month, if that's what you're pre-approved on, if any of that changes the nature of the pre-approval. So and I mean, obviously, if they change negatively, you can always make more money, but that will change the nature of the approval as well, because you could qualify for more.
Right.
But, if we change anything about your current financial situation, that changes the approval. And now we have to readjust to the new terms of your financial set of circumstances. So understand, and even in this particular case, this person didn't do anything maliciously or intentionally. I've had those situations where people run out and start buying furniture or buying appliances and financing them or opening up new credit cards. And so it's always important to remember that whatever your situation is, it needs to stay that way, as close to it as it possibly can, to maintain your approval. If any of that changes the nature of your approval, and it might indeed make you, unapproved at that point. So once you get your approvals or whatever, do the best you can to maintain those circumstances. And that's why I always tell you, Kier, when you ask a loan officer, because as realtors tend to ask us, hey, can we remove our loan contingency? Or when should we remove it? If you ask me and you leave it up to me, I'm going to tell you the day after we record. That's when you want to remove your contingencies. And the reason I say that is because until you record, nothing is final. Nothing. And as I shared with you guys a few weeks ago with the West file, I actually had a file where we funded the loan. The loan was funded, but it didn't record. And then something went wrong, and we had to end up funding it again. And the second time we did get it recorded. And when we got it recorded the second time, I celebrated. I partied like it was 1999 because it was done.
Prince. All right, Prince.
That's right. But anyway, so your pre-approval, your conditional approval, by the way, that's why I always make sure I use that term. So when we submit everything to the underwriter and we have an approval, and Kier, because I send out my updates, I always say we have a conditional approval. Well, what does that mean? A lot of people don't pay attention to that language. What does a conditional approval mean? It means approved with conditions.
Yeah,
okay, so let me just tell you, your underwriter, unlike your wife and unlike your mother, they love you conditionally. Their love for you is based on conditions. And if the conditions change, their love goes away.
Aww.
That's how it works.
Aww.
If you want unconditional love, look for your family.
There you go. I love it. Well, thank you again, Wes, for your yeah. Additional. Ooh. Yeah. I love it. All right. So, if you guys have been living on the rock, or maybe none of your friends or family or associates may not happen to be real estate agents, you might not know. So, this week, officially, we are allowed to do open houses. It's a miracle. It is a Christmas miracle. But it's not Christmas, so we seem to know it's Christmas, right? So, Wes, what do you think about open houses coming back?
I think that's fine. I think it's a good thing. I myself am still curious because, you and I've had this conversation before to me, it's all about where public confidence is. And I mean that in two ways. So even though, CAR, the California Association of Realtors, says it's okay, the question is, how do sellers feel about it? And how do home buyers feel about it? Because even if we say it's okay, right? If they don't feel comfortable going back into that environment yet, then we're basically going to see things business as usual. So I don't know if we're quite back to the point where tons of strangers are just going to walk up in your house just because you say, come look at it, and they're going to feel comfortable about it. Who knows? But that's what's going to be interesting to me. So now that they're back, how many realtors are actually going to try to host open houses?
A lot.
Well, we'll see. Because like I told you, I mean, I think a lot of realtors were enjoying the setup, that we had during the pandemic, which was I don't have to give up 3-4 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday, to have a bunch of people come kick the tires who can't really buy the house or don't want to really buy the house. This whole setting up appointments and requiring pre-approvals to set the appointment, that's more appetizing for some people. Like I said, some realtors might believe that open houses are great opportunities to find new clients. And I'm sure some of them do have that experience. So it really just depends. But I'm curious to see how everybody feels about it now that we've all kind of gotten out of the habit. We're all kind of out of shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like when I said a lot, I'm saying like a lot of realtors um will be doing it, but I don't think like top if you talk to the majority of top producing realtors, if you have a conversation with them, you ask them where's your main sources of business come from. It's very rare that they're going to tell you that out of the top three sources of business, one of them is open houses.
Right.
You know what I mean? One of them is open houses. So the thing is, in terms of industries that have been able to adapt and thrive in this pandemic, it's definitely the real estate industry. And a lot of that happens to do with buyers and our clients going internet first and foremost. You know what I mean? Being okay with DocuSign, being okay with signing documents electronically. We've been doing this before the pandemic, so over 99% of the things that we've been doing has already been virtual already when this pandemic occurred. Because like I said, like you said, yeah, a lot of agents are super excited about going back to open houses, but again, it's the sellers that control our ability to have open houses. It's
Right.
the buyers that choose to want to go to these open houses,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the thing is, too, I believe that you still have to have an appointment, and I still believe that you have to have some type of electronic signing in terms of the paid for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's still going to have a lot of people come to open houses with agents with
Right.
with already representation, right? So I don't think it's gonna be like you said back in the day where you just have a bunch of random people come into your house and not have representation, not have an agent. I think what
Right.
you'll see people come to open houses, but a lot of them will already be represented. So for me, I don't want agents to think as though, oh yes, open houses are back. Now all of a sudden my business is going to just blow up because I'm going to get all these opportunities from people coming in. I think that open houses could be a good tool for you to market the property, maybe get exposure for yourself in terms of like your open house signs and whatever advertising you do. But I don't think you should put all your eggs in that basket. And that's what I've heard from other agents. Like, oh man, I would have sold more houses if I was able to do open houses. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would have been more successful if I can do open houses, right? So the thing is, open houses are back now, but it's not going to be like the same. And like you said, so we as an industry have been able to demonstrate that we can sell houses at a high level without an open house. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm a seller, why do I have to have a bunch of strangers come to my house if Joe Black and a few of my other neighbors were able to sell their houses for top dollar, multiple offers? Are you telling me that you can't do the same thing and you need an open house,
Right.
right?
And that's a great point because that was another factor that I was going to point to as far as like some realtors maybe not wanting to do them again because they're simply not necessary. Well, let me back up. In certain price ranges, because we talked about this a few weeks ago, that in the most popular affordable price ranges, those are the ones that are getting the most attention, and those are the ones that you're seeing like the insane amounts of offers on. So
Right.
if we're talking about, maybe if we start talking about people who are in price ranges above a million, maybe there is where you'll probably start seeing open houses, because they may not be selling as quickly as, say, properties listed below a million. But right now, I mean, you don't even need to have an open house to sell a house.
Right, exactly. And I mean, when you're talking about the higher price point properties, typically those are usually appointment only on the guest list scenarios anyway. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's usually not a bunch of randos just coming to a house. It's normally, hey, I'm on the guest list to come to this house. I set an appointment for this house, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's usually what I typically see when I'm talking about hiring in properties. But again, I mean, this market's still limited inventory. You technically really don't need to do open house. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I mean, it's great that we are allowing open houses, but agents out there, if you guys are watching this, you guys are listening to this, please do not put all your eggs in the open house basket. Please do not put all your eggs there. Please do not anticipate a bunch of sellers out there all willing to allow you to have their open houses. Please do not please do not think that. Just understand that yes, open houses happen to be something that we can utilize for our business, but please do not put all your eggs in that basket because you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah. So choosing open houses, please responsibly. Understand that it's not going to be a big increase in terms of your business. You got to
Right.
do the other stuff, like calling people, which is big. Calling people, reaching out to your sphere of influence, texting, direct mail, door knocking, all these other things that you can do to get business, right? Please do not put all your eggs in the open house basket. Please do not spend a bunch of money buying 25, 30 plus signs right now. Please do not do that. Save your money.
Now that's the part that actually I didn't think about that, because
Mm-hmm.
some agents weren't comfortable doing the door knocking because some homeowners weren't comfortable with it. So maybe that's where we'll see a big surge now. Maybe people will run out and hit the streets and start knocking on doors all over the place again.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, that's how I started my career. Was from door knocking. So I mean, door knocking is definitely it definitely works. You just have to be consistent with it. And the
Yeah.
problem is, the majority of agents I see do it, they'll do it once, twice, three times, and then they give up and they don't do it again. Anything
Right.
that you do, it's gonna take time. You got to think of it. You got to think of it as you're going to the gym, right? You go to the gym, 3 weeks in a row, you're not gonna come out ripped yet. It takes time. It takes time. And they say it takes like 6 to 8 months. Depending on if you're also dieting, eating the right things as well, right? Same thing when it comes to door knocking, with making phone calls, with farming, expired for some owners. Open houses, right? All those things take time to actually generate results. Like I tell my coaching clients, if you're gonna do it, stick to a year to do it. I don't want you to come back to me in a month or 2 months, tell me that this doesn't work. You got to stick to it for at least a year. Give it a year, and if it doesn't work, then you have the right to try something else. But you
Right.
got to give it at least a year.
Agreed.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome, awesome. Well, Friday, May 14th, 2021, episode 6 of the Real Talk. So thank you guys for joining us today. And Wes, is there anything else that we might have missed? Anything that you'd like to share?
Oh yeah. So forgot to talk about this in the news. So you kind of mentioned it, but California is supposed to be removing the mask mandate June 15th, provided
Yes.
that the numbers still continue to improve.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to that. I miss concerts. I miss sporting events so much. I mean, seriously, like in 2019, like my family, we were going to baseball games. We were going to basketball games. We were going to hockey games. We were going to concerts. We were doing so much, and then 2020 happened, and then all that stuff shut down. So we're definitely looking forward to definitely going out and doing that stuff. definitely going out and going to concerts and shows and sporting events and all that good stuff. So definitely important to do that.
Yeah, now that was one of the caveats is that he said it would for international events. So I'm not sure what he considers an international event because a Laker game could be an international event. I mean, people from all the world might come see the Lakers, right?
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point.
Yeah, so we'll see, but yeah, sounds like mostly it's going away. I guess he's very happy with the progress, and yeah, we'll see.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I mean, I miss going
Oh,
to
I know.
games and all that fun stuff. So.
I know everybody's chomping at the bit. Look, man, I had to reschedule Hamilton twice.
What? Why?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's that?
I said hopefully third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, and I missed out on a vacation to Cancun.
One of my close friends is actually going to Cancun in June. So
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. Awesome.
man.
Awesome. Yes. Well, hopefully, like I said, June 15th comes, things get back to normal and all that fun stuff. And yeah, definitely. So we're moving in the right direction. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like we're moving in the right direction. So,
Yeah, as the saying goes, this too shall pass.
yes, absolutely. Well, anything else, Wes? Anything else we're missing?
No, that's it.
All right, perfect. Well, let's put a bow on top of that and tie it together. So thank you guys for joining us for episode 6 of Real Talk with Coach Q and
Broker West.
all right, until next time. See you on the next episode.